Hey everyone, this is Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. I am excited to put together Monday for my week in the life project. I've done a lot of different steps to get to this point, and I've printed out my journaling, put in these words, and I am ready to go. I'm very, very excited. And I hope you guys are enjoying these videos and seeing these different steps and also the days come together. So the first step is this 6x8 photo, and I had placed a chipboard and also a phrase that says every day. I am gonna stamp on the chipboard no day like today. It's a stamp set, and I can't remember what the stamp set is, but it was recommended to me by a scrapbook friend on Instagram, and Susan, Little Things Big Days, and I'm so glad she recommended it because I use it all the time. So I stamped that phrase no day like today, and I set it aside so that way it can dry. I don't want to put it back in the page protector. The next 6x8 is my daughter looking at the caterpillars, and I apologize that there's a glare on the photo, but she has an amazing in awe expression. And I had a transparency piece that said bloom, so I'm going to go ahead and use that on the photo, and I grab some die cuts from the bloom story kit and cut a phrase that says room to, so that way it can say room to bloom. And as I'm putting this whole Monday together, I quickly decide that, you know what, most years I stick to only Ali Edwards, and I kind of limit myself, and not this year. If there is something I want to stamp with a different phrase, like Everyday Explorers, I'm going to do that. If there's something I want to add to a photo, I'm going to add it. And I'm not going to worry too much if it matches or it doesn't match. So I'm going all out this year and using all my supplies, whatever I want. So, you guys won't see the big mess, but there was a big mess when I got done with Monday, a very big mess. But it was a lot of fun to put together this entire Monday. So for this photo right here, I just wanted to tell the fun story of wanting to take pictures of my outfits every day of the week, but I didn't get Saturday. So bummed. But my husband actually helped me clean the mirrors, which had not been cleaned in forever. And so I just wanted to tell that story right there. But I didn't size the journaling correctly, so I'm having to cut it out piece by piece, which is kind of awful, but I'm not going to go back and reprint it. I suppose I could have, but I was already on a roll. My husband had given me the free time, because we're knee deep in summer right now. So I was like, I'm just going for it. I'm going to cut it and just go ahead and add it to the photo and just call it good enough. Because that's the other thing too. I've decided with this project, if I have the supplies, I have the pieces, I have the time, I am putting this together. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm putting this together. So that is why I just used this journaling, even though it was a little wonky and I had to cut it up painstakingly, piece by piece. Okay, so I got that done. I got the story of how I want to take my outfits, and my husband helped me clean the mirrors. I also wanted to add a little something to that photo of my husband making a ridiculous face as we're eating breakfast. And so looked around in my stash, and I found one that says hugs and kisses. So I decided to go ahead and add that. And as you can see, I filled in the Monday ING card, and I just did that off camera so that way you guys wouldn't have to see that. But those were really fun to put together. On the back of the outfit photo, I wound up making a collage using the app called Pick Frame, and I just made a custom size of 4x8. Got out some word phrases from the Wander story kit and the stamp set, and I stamped Wander and used the phrase low-key exploring, and I'll go ahead and put that in the middle of the collage. I also stamped Just Be Here because I know I'm going to use that on the selfie of myself, obviously, right up in the top right corner. And I get out some new Everyday Explorers stamps, and I stamp love being outside. And the word phrase I have for the photo is beauty. So I'm going to put the beauty up at the top left corner of this 4x4. And then right below that is love being outside. And then I'm going to do something really fun with the 4x4 card that I'm very excited wanted to create. So I just have to tuck the love being outside right underneath the beauty. So I kind of had to pull that up a little bit and make sure that it will all fit in there because I didn't want it to take up too much space. That's why I layered it together. I also found in my stash a bunch of transparent numbers that would coordinate well with the different days and colors that I had. So I went ahead and added those in throughout my project. So I have 24 there, and it's just going to be a little floating number. It's awesome, and I'm so glad I used those up. Okay, so this 4x4 card. I know Allie Edwards did like 3 gratitudes. I decided to do the top 3 of the day. And I'm, like I said, very excited to put this idea, bring it to life, I guess I should say. So I wrote in pencil what each box was going to be, and I didn't like how it erased. It kind of took away some of the top layer of the paper. So I'm not going to do that for Tuesday. I just wrote it on a Post-it note. So one of the boxes down in the bottom left corner, I stamped teamwork because I think and know, I know that my husband and I handle all the kid activities really well together, juggling all of those. I also stamped a TV, and I put Legos, Lego documentary that we watched. And then for the top right box, I did Let's Go Outside and added the total miles that we walked on this particular day, plus the total number of miles that we are at for the year. Last year, we were like 7 miles from, I think, 100 or something like that. I don't know. It was crazy when I added it up last year. So this year, I'm trying to keep a running total to see if we can get that high again, because that'd be really cool. So I'm very excited for these cards, like I said, and on a Post-it note, I put the rest of the week, the top 3s, and then I'll just find little stamp icons and things to add to this card. It's really cool, and it came out like very graphic awesomeness. I don't know. I love it, you guys. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to this 2x2 pocket, and I have a phrase up at the top that says basics. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that, and then right below that, I'll have a little bit of journaling that talks about how I wake up and I have to have like alarms going off every 15 minutes because I am not a morning person. And then because it's week in the life, I waste even more time trying to get a selfie of me waking up in bed, because my room is really dark in the morning because we have kind of blackout curtains, and so I gotta open the curtains and make sure I have enough light to get a picture. But anyways, that's what I journaled right there for that little card. And then for the other pages or other pieces, I'm gonna add a ton of stamped phrases and grab all the stamps that I can find. For that photo of the kids and I in the car, I had put big love, so I went ahead and adhered that down. I liked that little phrase. I'll also have another floating pocket down in the bottom of the 2x2. So that's going to be fun to add, and I'll also stamp some different phrases. I wanted to stamp currently loving for that photo of my son and I because we had both done like a workout. I did one inside, he did one outside with his soccer drills. So I wanted to bring a little bit of emphasis to that photo. So currently loving works. I'm also going to add another kind of bigger phrase to the photo of my desk and a word phrase sticker that I found from the Make Story Kit. So I'm really happy with this photo I got of my desk, and I'm just happy in general with all the photos that I got. I feel like I got a good range of photos for the start of the week and the whole week in general. So the phrase says, what I'm making now, maker's gonna make. So that's my big phrase right there. So this little pocket right here is gonna be the transparent one, and I have home and daily life. So I'm going to use those and then get a little piece of transparency, like it's leftover laminated scraps. And so I will use that down in the corner to get it to stay, I guess you could say. I'll also have a second one up in the top corner. I just stamped a little bit of everyday magic. So that's going to be another floating one, but that one's just a regular stamped phrase. And I also decided that for the back of home daily life that I would add another phrase to the back of it. It's not the same size, but it'll work. on the back of it, it says, take more photos. Because, generally when you have a transparency piece in your album or your project, you want the pieces to kind of match front and back, or just put only something on the front. But I did not do that this time. I decided to just use a little bit of a bigger piece on the back. So it still works. I think it still looks great. So I am going to move on to the back of this 2x2 page protector and also the next 6x8 photo. So when I looked through my stash, I looked for pieces, chipboards, and transparencies that would fit this project and what had happened during the week. So I grabbed that adventure transparency tag and stapled it right on top of the photo in the kind of the empty space. I also added in 2 more 2x2 cards with some journaling on them. And one of them says loving, and I tried to think of all the different ing words that we did that day. So I did hiking, reading, cooking, scrapbooking, showering, hugging, watching, eating, going, listening, preparing, exercising. I love that card, and if I can do that card every day of the week, I'm going to try to do that. So that is my loving card there. And then I have one up in the top corner that talks about kind of the afternoon and how we had just a whirlwind of stuff going on and different activities and the house chores that I did. So that's what I included for that 2x2. And the phrase that I decided for the back of the second transparency little piece is it's the little things. So on the front is magic and the back is little things. And of course, these are all from Everyday Explorers. I will try to link the ones that I can find. And if I miss any, just go ahead and leave a comment and let me know that I missed one. So yeah, I got all the 2x2 pocket done, and now I can move on to the journal. But first I need to add one little phrase to the bottom of the 6x8. Well, I don't have to, but I want to. So I stamped going out to get some sunshine, and then a word phrase sticker that says filling me up, which is a green word phrase sticker, and I cannot tell you where it came from, but I love it and it's perfect. So for this little book that I have, I'm going to go ahead and add in kind of the bulk of our journaling. And I was so nervous to do this giant block of journaling 5x7. It was not aligned correctly. And of course I messed it up. You can see I had to rip it up, and I was, like I said earlier, when I messed up on some journaling, I was not going to reprint this. I was not going to reprint the journaling pages. It was a long process to make these journals, so I was not going to redo it. So I just kind of ripped it up and got it back on there as best as I could, and it still looks okay. Going forward, I will print the 5x7s and then chop them up into smaller pieces, so that way it's easier to adhere instead of one gigantic piece. It's too hard for me and like nerve-wracking. Okay, it's gonna happen again. Forewarning you, I try to put it on the back and I goof up again, but I rip it up and just try to adhere it back down as best as I can. It hangs over kind of into the crease, but oh well, I got it on there mostly, and I'm very happy with how this little book is coming together. This little book is based off of the Week in the Life journal, and I just shrunk everything down to be 5x7, and I originally got this idea from Jenny, and she has amazing ideas. I will link her Instagram. So I had 2 extra photos, and I decided to use those for what I want to remember. And I think going forward for this particular spot, I'm just going to either do big stamped phrases or leftover photos or whatever I have. And I think it will also be the spot where I add in those circle transparencies, because I want to use more of the kit components, and I feel like I'm not using a lot of them, but at least I know that going forward, like, for next year, I may not even need to buy the kit. But for this Monday page here, I am stamping several different things. I stamped a sun icon and also the moon icon. This is an icon stamp set from Everyday Explorers. I also stamped one with nature and counting my blessings over by like where we go to bed. And then I saw Morgan Beale. She stamped a bunch of Z's for when it was like bedtime, and I decided to kind of copy that. And so I'm going to stamp that in just a second. I also used some blue word phrase stickers that match with the Monday, and I did add in a blue stamped phrase that says daily detail. So really obsessed with how this came together, just adding in a little bit of stamping to the journaling that I had. And then I have the bulk of the journaling on the right-hand side. Turn it, there's more journaling. And then you have the gratitudes and feelings for the day. And I penciled in some notes for myself of what I wanted to add. And so I'm going to stamp those. I stamp currently down at the bottom and blessed, and then in the middle I do you and me, because I kind of talked about my gratitude for my husband and I doing teamwork. Added in a few more word phrase stickers to go along with the blue stickers I'd already used, like go, 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 and stuff of life, and stamping routine. So that is that page, and I am almost done with Monday, and I love it. I love how it all came together, and I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing this come together. I am going to flip back to the beginning of Monday, and that way I can show you how it all looks all together. So all the way back to the beginning, and you have the opening page, and then the 2x2, 4x4, 2x2, and then the 2x2 pocket, 6x8, screenshots, and my journal. I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing this come together. I would love a thumbs up or even a subscribe if you are new to my channel. Have a wonderful day. Bye.